Is Maleny Botanic Gardens and Bird World worth visiting? I think you need to ask yourself the questions. Do you like exotic or unusual birds? Do you like learning more about them? Do you like getting close to the birds or even have them land on your shoulders or head? If the answer is yes to most of these questions, then it's certainly a place that you should consider visiting in the Sunshine Coast hinterland. However, other aspects like the location or price might make you think twice. So I'm here to answer all your questions and ensure you know it's a place you want to visit. As a long-time local to Southeast Queensland, Matt and I enjoyed a very positive experience at Maleny Bird World. The price was comparable for what you got. I loved the personal bird interactions and they have a nice setup there. With that said, I honestly prefer to see wild animals actually in the wild, but thought this was a nice medium where the birds are still flying around on their own and only interact when they want. Therefore, I would recommend it for first-time visitors to the region, but in particular for the specific Bird World Avery tour. Maleny's Botanic Gardens and Bird World is located a short 10 minutes outside of the small Sunshine Coast hinterland town of Maleny. Although if you're coming from the coastal areas like Caloundra, Mooloolaba or Noosa, then it will take about 45 minutes to just over an hour to get there. It's easy to drive there along sealed roads, so it's accessible with a standard two-wheel drive vehicle. But the roads as such have lots of twists and turns and you will be driving a bit slower than the regular highway. There's also plenty of free parking available outside. The actual Bird Avery tour takes 50 minutes to complete, or about an hour when you consider the wait time. However, overall, we managed the entire facility in about 2.5 hours with the extra time wandering around the gardens and seeing the farm animals. Although I am expecting the farm animals section will be a big hit for the kids and some families might want to allocate more time there. However, just so you know, the entire facility includes the Bird World Avery, which is a guided tour, the Botanic Gardens, and what they call the Farm Friends section. The Botanic Gardens was a bit lifeless for us, but we also visited around May, coming into winter, and the experience could well change with a different season. This entire facility is open from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily, so it is easy to plan out your whole day trip through the hinterland areas. And I'll have some more suggestions for you at the end of this video. Ticket prices start from $22 per adult, but please note this is only for the Botanic Gardens and the Farm Friends section. I definitely think it's worth the extra amount to book in the Bird Avery tour, which starts at $42 per adult. The good news is these higher cost tickets include all 3 sections of the establishment and allows you to spend some extra time there. They also have family pass and annual tickets to help save you some money. The 1-hour Bird Avery tour has a wide variety of birds to see, including parrots, peacocks, cockatoos, doves, canaries, finches, pigeons, and of course the infamous macaws that are a crowd favourite. They separated species into about 4 different aviaries and the guide will lead the group into each different area, telling you about the birds along the way. There is a lot of information being given at this time and they're also quite open to questions and very knowledgeable. Surprisingly, there are over 600 native and exotic birds here from around the world. There are some that will fly onto you straight away, like this one on Matt, and others that'll hang back to keep their distance. More so, there are plenty that are food motivated and really stalk the guide to get something to eat. Otherwise, seeds are always left on their food trays and they're always flying around. I even had this cute little bird trying to nibble on my toes for some reason, and another one that tried to get pretty comfy on my foot. It's probably at this point that I'll stress the importance to always watch where you're walking. Good news is, for those that don't want the birds to actually fly on you, they will provide you with a feather duster, which you'll hold up and the birds know to stay away. The Farm Friends section includes regular farm animals such as rabbits, guinea pigs, goats, chickens, sheep, and even a donkey. The goats were probably the most active. Funny watching jumping around on all the logs and stuff, and always wanted to be near you. But keep an eye on your kids in this section, as some of them can be a little forward in getting your attention and easily push you around. The Botanic Gardens were a decent size, and it made it even better overlooking the beautiful Glasshouse Mountains. They contained roses, orchids, azaleas. I even wandered through some bamboo and a small little fairy garden. As mentioned before, we didn't explore too much in this area, but with a bit more colour in the right season, it could definitely enhance your experience. You could even use it as a picnic spot, or just laze on the grass for a light snack, or just relax while listening to the small waterfall. There was a small shop and cafe out the front where you check in or buy your tickets. We did grab a sandwich here for lunch, and obviously a magnet for my collection, but it's not the biggest place for a lot of variety. Therefore, if you have any special dietary requirements, then you can always bring a packed lunch for the day. As a bonus, don't miss the few birds you can see just near the cafe. I found one of these to be especially cute, singing "Old MacDonald Had a Farm." Old MacDonald had a farm. If you want to see the bird aviary, then yes, you will need to book a guided tour at a specific time. These are run almost every hour between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m, with more sessions on weekends and holidays. It's best to check their website for time, especially when you know your date. But the farm animals and botanic gardens are self-guided, and you can see as little or use as much time as you like around these areas. We weren't there at a busy time, so paid for it when we got there, but expecting this isn't always going to be the case, and you should book online earlier in busy times. I wouldn't say the paths or areas too hard to walk around, but you will have walked a couple of kilometres by the time you've seen it all. If you have accessibility issues, then there are golf buggies starting at $45 available to hire. Please note these buggies are only going to get you to outside the farm friends and the bird aviary sections, and in some areas of the Botanic Gardens. Ultimately, they will not be used inside the aviaries and the grassed area of the gardens. Heavy wheelchairs might be harder to move around, especially on the grassed or gravel spots and steep roads. You can pretty much wear whatever is comfortable and light clothing, but I would recommend at least a small sleeve. The birds do have sharp claws and can scratch you when flying on and off your shoulders. You are going to be outside, so a hat and sunscreen is essential, but if your hat or cap has one of those buttons on top, they will ask you to take it off, as the birds like to nibble on these. Same with earrings, and any jewellery will need to be removed also. More importantly, wear comfortable walking shoes, which includes thongs if you're used to them. There can be quite a bit of walking involved between the different sections. While there are some brief sections that are covered, I wouldn't expect this to be a very enjoyable experience in the rain, and it's not a time I'd personally visit myself. If you have pre-booked, then the bird tours do still run at this time, and on the plus side, expect the tourist numbers to be low during the rain. However, if there's lightning around, they will close the bird aviary. In the end, Maleny's Bird World is definitely worth considering, especially if it's your first time. But if you want to check out other activities in the area, then please click here for my video on other day trips from the Sunshine Coast. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you for the next one.